Who is Sean Locke?
I went up to the bar and said, I'd like a drink. And the bloke said, I can't serve you, you're drunk. And I said, yeah, I know. That's why I'm here. I didn't come here for the stools, mate, you know. Or the hilarious pictures of dogs playing snooker.
Sean Locke is everything to all men. He's the godfather of comedy who's been around as long as I can remember.
Sean's always able to be funny, to kind of cover up just how much he wants to punch someone.
Around, banging on people's doors, going, it's brilliant, come and play. It's only £4. You don't need special shoes.
He is a bit of a thinker, and if you get him talking, he's a good talker and a good thinker.
If you think something's rubbish, he'll say so, do you know what I mean? It's that weird thing of, that blatant streak of honesty within him.
Well, when I was asked to take part in this film, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to remove some of the spiritual silt that had clogged up me soulful arteries. We go to Samye-Ling, which is there, in the sort of Scottish borders. Well, it's the biggest Buddhist temple in the West. I'm going there for a 2-day meditation course, and then I'm going to Holy Island for a retreat.
Good place for Sean's spiritual retreat, where he has to think about only himself and he has to talk about himself.
He's going to be in for quite a big shock when he gets there, because with spirituality there's no room for ego.
I like to sit back, listen, and hear what everyone has got to say, and then point out that they're all wrong. Basically, that's what I like to do.
He'll play devil's advocate until 4 or 5 in the morning, easy. But if you ask me, has Sean got any brothers or sisters? I don't know.
I think spiritually he's been a very empty, sad person for a long, long time, and you can see that. There's a kind of lifelessness to his eyes.
I was brought up as a Catholic. I went to religious schools. All the teachers were nuns. And my mum died when I was very young, so that the nuns would tend to, if my dad couldn't make it home from work in time, the nuns would look after you until he could pick you up. They used to play football with you, the nuns. It's quite good seeing them lift up their skirts and charge around the pitch. They tended to shy away from the header. But it was very difficult if you had nuns on different sides. You never knew who was on which side.
I think it's a good time for Sean to do this. I happen to know that Sean's already having a bit of a think about who Sean Locke is.
I don't like the idea that it's assumed that you're a bad person. There's an assumption in Christian religion is that there's something fundamentally wrong with you from the very start. So I stopped going to church when I was about sort of 14, 15. I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God.
He's a lovely bloke, he's really good company, you won't be bored.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you Annie? Annie
Yeah.
Richard. Hello, I'm Sean.
Sure, hiya.
Good to meet you.
Welcome to Samye-Ling.
Thank you.
The meditation course, which is what you're on, is not necessarily for Buddhists. I mean, you can be any religion and, sort of benefit from meditation. I'm not trying to convert people or anything like that. No.
Right. Any rules I should know about?
Just the 5 golden rules, which you have on here.
Protect life and refrain from killing. I think I can manage that.
Including midges.
Including, I can't kill midges.
Not what? It's life form, isn't it?
Is it? What point do I have to start sort of, where's the real grey area?
Well, midges are about as grey as it gets.
Midges are sort of grey. They are grey when you smudge them on a wall, aren't
Yeah, they are.
To respect others' property, refrain from stealing. Don't worry, I'm reformed. No, I've never been like that. Speak the truth, refrain from lying. That's why I'm really going to suffer. That one.
That's just the weekend.
To embrace health, refrain from intoxicants. Yes. Respect others and refrain from sexual misconduct.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, look forward to it. See them there? The rabbits? They're perfectly safe. You can pick them up by their whiskers, they don't mind. Spin them around. Spin them back, put them down. And no, you don't mean them any harm. She also used a joke about the midges, wasn't it? So the weekend course is £45. So that's 2 days of meditation. That seems reasonable, you know, because what's Thorpe Park? What's a day ticket to Thorpe Park? That's about £18, isn't it? But you get all of the rides, but it's usually quite busy, you have to queue. Buddhism, as I understand, is a religion that has no God. It's an atheist religion. They don't worship a creator, they worship the teachings of the Buddha and the meditation or practices he used to become enlightened. Lamsang is a young fella from Bromley. He came to Samye-Ling somehow, and he's become a monk.
This is our temple, built entirely by volunteers.
They believe in reincarnation. They believe that all sentient beings are part of the chain of birth and rebirth.
I don't think we need to go through the temple rules. You seem pretty well behaved.
Right, yeah. I don't do anything untoward.
Sweet. Okay.
Apparently, what you do in this life affects you in the next. So I could end up in the next life as a blowfly or a newt. And we're not supposed to kill blowflies and newts because that's a sentient being. But I think actually doing them a favour because it's less time spent as a fly or a newt, which creates a bit of a moral dilemma because I feel like I'm doing other sentient beings a good favour by shifting them quickly up the reincarnation ladder. But of course it will send me spinning down the other end.
The Karmapa is the head of our particular lineage of Buddhism. Here's a picture here. You can see His Holiness the 17th Karmapa.
Looks very young.
Yeah, he's about 13 years old in this photo. He was recognised at a very early age. When he was born, there were many auspicious signs and circumstances to his birth.
Like sort of date, time and...
No, more like phenomena.
What, like, do you know?
Phenomena.
I'm just curious, what sort of phenomena?
Right.
You don't...
Rainbows, like
Right.
different sounds in the air, different things.
Sounds? Oh.
Yeah, the sound of conches. This shell
Yeah.
goes woo. Very nice sound.
So, but they were being played as he was born and...
No, this came...
Oh, these were just natural sounds, so nobody's playing these?
No,
these
they just came about.
Right.
There are more things, but I don't want to seem like crazy. Like,
Well, no, I was just curious. It's
Yeah.
interesting to find out what other things
yeah, it's
heralded.
like 3 suns appeared in the sky,
Right.
like that. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it's
So you-
good. He's our man, so it helps. But he's
And how long have you been here at the Samye-Ling?
7 years.
7 years?
7 years, yeah.
Right.
I came for a couple of weeks as a visitor, and I really enjoyed it. I really felt a sense of peace, and I took vows for a year, and then I took vows for another year, and then I took vows for life. But
It's very different to Bromley, isn't it?
oh yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, you have to face like what you've been running away from all these years. This is where we have prayer 3 times a day.
Yeah, it surprised me actually. He was a bit of a geezer. I think you can tell that some of the people there have had troubles in their lives. Some of the younger monks have had like a few problems. He just said lots of stuff was coming up. And I thought, well, he hasn't got conjunctivitis, so I assumed it was emotional. Learning to meditate. And is that tough?
Yeah.
I suppose you can cheat, but it doesn't do any good, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Or sort of nod off.
Nod off. Well, that's it. It's up to you, isn't it? Spiritual path is the effort that you put into it. No one's like there with a stick saying, "Come on, get enlightened."
Yeah.
So it's really up to you.
Yeah. Well, Buddhists believe that they all have Buddha nature, and the way to discover your Buddha nature is through meditation. I just assume you just meditate and you just get nicer and nicer and nicer.
got it? Hard on the knees?
Yeah, hard on the knees, hard on the ankles.
Yeah.
I hadn't sat in the right, I should have been sitting on a chair, and I thought I can't get up. I didn't know whether I could get up in the middle of it or... I'm sure after the practice I'll get better at it.
Over this weekend, I'll try to cover the basic things that you need to know in order to start meditating yourself. I think it's important when you receive instructions that you know where do they come from, you know. So we are the Tibetan Buddhist tradition of the Kagyu school. When you talk about Buddhism, really the heart of that is meditation. But at the same time, we don't have to be Buddhist to meditate. Meditation simply is about dealing with our mind. We learn how to tame our mind. It's important to start in the right environment. Cross-legged if you can, and if not, just sitting in a chair is fine as well. So you try to relax the physical tension and keeping a mental alertness. Then move your attention to the base of the spine and gradually move up the spine right up to the base of the neck. We become very, very busy, sort of like a feather in the wind that's running or being swept by all of these inputs that come at us from all directions. So when you meditate, you do nothing for a while, which is very unusual in our daily life.
Apparently they got 2 stars for their accommodation from the Scottish Tourist Board. Don't know how difficult it is to get stars from the Scottish Tourist Board. There's a bench in Dundee, it's got 1 star. It's been going since '67. There's about 60 of them living here now. Monks and lay people. You know, you don't have to be a monk to live here, but it helps. Yeah, they do recycle and use.
If you didn't know anything about Christianity and therefore you didn't believe in Christ, you'll go to hell. And I said to the vicar, if you were Japanese or something and you knew nothing about Christianity at all, but you lived a good life, you were a good person and you were kind and so on, would you go to hell? Oh yes, you'd go to hell. And that really turned me off.
Tigger.
Well, very, very few Christians follow the teaching of Christ.
Well, that's it, exactly. So.
Well, it's very difficult.
Very, yes. Yes.
It's really hard, isn't it?
But then we learn how to do it, you see. What's been lost in the Christian teaching is how to do it.
I was brought up as a Catholic and I was told,
That's right.
you've got to do this and you've got to be that good like that. But nobody actually says, and here's how. That's a very good point. You're just told, just keep doing that.
Well, nobody teaches you that compassion is not only a good thing, but it's necessary. But if you meditate a long time, you begin to understand what it's all about.
Is it possible to describe what happens?
I don't think you can really describe what happens, except that when the mind becomes clearer and clearer.
And is it tiring? That's the thing I was wondering. Is it quite sort of exhausting?
Well, at first it is, because at first you try and do it. You try to hold, sort of grit your teeth and do it, because it's bloody difficult. So you try and do it, and that's what you really have to do is not do it. But that is very difficult, you see, because
do it but not do it.
you can so easily fall into being taken by a thought, and instead of letting it go, you attach to the thought, and you develop it, and then for a moment or two, you're telling yourself a story.
So you've been here for quite a long time?
17 years next November. I was in India quite a lot before and during the war, and afterwards too. And I got to know a little bit about Eastern teachings, and it seemed to me that there was quite a lot of sense in it all. And so I thought I'd go into it a bit more fully and learn to meditate.
I have a sense that these could be a very long 5 days. They look like day trippers. They look like they could be going to look around Warwick Castle or something like that. They look quite sort of curious people.
So this time we'll do the relaxation and we'll go on to watch the movement of the breath. So if you put yourself in the posture, focus downwards, don't look up. Instead look downwards, and you should imagine a sphere of very sort of velvety black night sky. Like that in front of you, and you look down onto that. So that is helping then to calm down that mental activity.
My name's Sally. I work as a personnel manager Monday to Friday, which I find very difficult and very stressful. So I find this a very good balance to that. I have to be somebody who's in control all the time, giving advice. And here, you know, I just look after myself. I don't have to be responsible for anything. I think it's just a chance to be yourself for 2 days and spend it with like-minded people, which is nice. I mean, I love meeting the people here.
You become aware, after a while, all these pains all around your body, and itches on your nose, and now I concentrated on an itch there. And I thought I could scratch it, I could wait. And so I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, 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 waited. Finally, she banged the gong, I scratched it. Oh, tremendous relief. So I think I might be using meditation in the wrong way for some kind of, almost sort of masochistic purpose, but it was really nice just to sort of have this itch there and going on this. Well, I felt very refreshed and relaxed afterwards. So I don't know if I found a new form of meditation. Well, I've gone AWOL. It's probably against the rules, but it is the World Cup.
96, doesn't it? That was regarding that one under Terry Venables.
Well, when I saw the monks there, I thought, well, I can't be in trouble because if I'm not supposed to be there, they definitely shouldn't be there.
I just want to watch football. Can you just leave me alone for 5 minutes?
Listen to this. Germany 1, England 5.
Well, I know the word Lama is quite important. You know, I think it's like their version of a cardinal. I know that they weren't pleased about us watching the football, so I hope he doesn't take it out on me. Some kind of karmic revenge. Halfway through the meeting, turned me into a blowfly.
You have advantage. You have 4 eyes.
Yeah.
And I only have 2.
Well, I got 4 bad ones.
Oh, I see.
I got 4 bad eyes. You got 2 good eyes. That you beat me.
Oh, I see. Okay. How does it look? One with hair and one without hair.
It's nice and shiny.
Yeah, is it?
Why do you think Buddhism is becoming more popular in wet countries like Britain and in Europe?
It's because it has tolerance. It tolerates any religion, any belief. Buddha has never ever said, my religion is only religion in the world. Mm-hmm. Some religion blames Buddhism, saying this religion is denying everything. Buddhism is not denying. When we say not to take intoxication, means the harmfulness of getting drunk. So if you have a control over your action, like if you take certain amount of drink, but if you don't overdrink as a lay person, it's okay. So as far as monks is concerned, we already say we will not even touch it. But when we say sexual misconduct, means if you have a partner, you should be loyal to the partner.
And what about things like homosexuality? Is it
Same
thing? So you don't have any kind of attitude towards...
No, everything is same sex is sex.
It's more to do with relationships.
Your relationship, yes.
And within that...
Yes.
Yeah. And things that people should do, like, for example, last night we went to watch the football.
Yes.
And we watched it, and we believed we did something which was a bit naughty, which we apologised for. We were watching it with a few monks, and we filmed it, and there was a feeling that we'd actually sort of compromised them, that it wasn't a good thing or a seemly thing for a monk to do. Is that right?
Well, normally, like, I have taken, we call highest vow. So in this vow we call not indulging, means we as a Buddhist, we're supposed to be engaging our mind 24 hours, which is virtues. And if we are getting lost with entertaining, then we somehow, during that period of time, we are not doing what we are meant to be doing.
Right.
In many cases...
When you meet him, you realise he has a sense of gravity, he has a great weight as a human being. I mean, maybe it's because you know he spent 12 years in retreat meditating, and parts of that meditation involve 50 days at a time underground, breathing through a lead pipe. And he walks the walk, I think, would be the term. It was a very good match.
Good. Who was the winner?
England.
Really?
Yeah, 5 goals to 1.
You must be happy today.
I was very happy, yeah, against Germany.
Maybe I should take credit of my monks watching television, make this happen.
Yeah.
Through meditation, we learn to let thoughts come, let thoughts go, and then we see that they don't actually exist. All of this is sort of like a dream that we're dreaming. We keep dreaming the same dream again and again and again. So meditation is a bit like waking up to what is actually happening, what is actually really there, which is the present moment.
That would be good.
Okay. How's that?
That's much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, there is an old lady, very old, she's not so well, and she's in good company. She's a tiny room and there are 2 nuns and 1 monk giving her biscuits and tea. Yeah, she has many infections.
17 years since I lived here, and 20 years since I first came to a course. There is one thing that for me is very important indeed, and at 85, if I weren't sailing, where would I be? I would be in an old people's home or something somewhere, and give me sailing any day, well or ill. This is the place to be. Mind you, we don't want to be filled with old people.
One of the things I struggle with is this notion of compassion for all beings. You have to emit compassion. When you're meditating, the consciousness says, remember, you're not meditating for yourself. You're meditating for the benefit of all beings. Well, I don't know. As I have understood it, the idea is it's so that you can, while there is stuff going on around you and while you're moving, you can focus your mind. I think that's the aim of it.
You're not that mad on it, are you?
I'm not keen on it. I prefer the sitting down meditation. But there's one benefit of it though, is that it's a change from sitting down meditation.
Yeah.
Because you can get quite cold doing that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really get off on that one. Yesterday I got quite into it. Today I couldn't really empty my mind. I think it was right at the back of the queue. I could just see it snaking around.
Before I became interested in Buddhism, my mind was a jangle of anger, depression, tension. But after studying Buddhism and meditating a little at home, I've calmed my mind and I no longer get so angry. I would get angry driving the car. If somebody cut me up, I'd cuss and swear and blind, but now I don't.
Yeah.
I just say, "O Mani Padme Hum," and keep calm and let them cut me up and go ahead.
Wave them on.
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
It's no use getting angry though if somebody cuts you up in a traffic jam, is it? It just shortens your life. But it's taken me a long time to realise that.
I took a different method. I actually got rid of the car.
Right.
The one thing I don't quite understand is that Buddha is not a god. Yeah, but he seems to be observed as you would observe a god.
Ultimately, if you look at the Buddhist teachings, the basic Buddhist teachings, it says it doesn't support God or Creator or anything like that at all. Buddhists might say that, for example, Christ is a form of enlightened being, or any other being who reaches Gandhi is a form of bodhisattva, or has Buddha nature very strongly, who shows that compassion very strongly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's something you can allow, if you can get rid of all the kind of rubbish that we collect and all the kind of greed and me thing, you can actually let that breathe.
Right.
And this is somebody who, when he said, like this, there's a story about a man who comes along and says, "What are you? Are you a god? Are you a deity? Are you some kind of wizard or magician?" And the Buddha answer says, "I'm awake."
Meditation is something anybody can benefit from. Just learning to tame our mind will help us. If we can bring that out into our everyday life, that will help us in our relationships, it will help us in our workplace, it will help us in our, all the different responsibilities that we have in life simply by being more present.
You were saying earlier on, you were saying that the people seem to be lost not lost, but so much time in the past, thinking about things that have happened to them in their past, or things that might happen to them in the future. And you were suggesting that they don't need to actually, you can rid yourself of those through meditation.
Like if we use the example that you had before, somebody who has traumatic experiences in the past, your whole sort of life is guided by that or directed by those past experiences, whereas if you learn to let go of it, then you're freed of it. So that's one thing, but it doesn't mean that we become sort of non-thinking individuals. We don't become robots with an empty head. Basically we have the choice of how to direct our mind, how to direct our mental energy. That's what we're aiming for.
I mean, when they said that you should live in the present, or you shouldn't necessarily address the past too much, I was quite resistant to that idea because I thought, well, people should be aware of their pasts. I think what they're saying is, yeah, work out what your past is, but don't hang on to it, don't cling to it, and don't consider it to be all that you are. A lot of religions seem to sort of suggest a certain amount of dependence, especially a lot of the evangelical Christian religions. This seems to me to encourage independence in how you think and how you feel particularly about yourself.
Follow the movement of the breath as it enters your nostrils. Now you bring your attention to the tip of the nose, to that point just where the air is entering, and you rest your attention at that point.
So how did you find the meditation this morning?
I was quite surprised how quickly, if I sort of went with it, I could actually relax anyway and get to that state. I thought I'll be here for 10, 20 minutes and nothing will happen. Then I'll start to get frustrated and annoyed, but it works very, very quickly.
I think as a beginner to have somebody guiding you through it is quite useful, because also the voice, you might be drifting off, then the voice brings you back, and so it keeps you with the momentum. If you just have an explanation at first and then you are left on your own to do it, maybe people are a bit sort of fumbling in the dark.
I like that thing at the end as well, the dong.
The gong, yeah.
Is that big wood? Is it a wooden one, that one?
It's a metal
right.
gong. Yeah.
It's a really nice noise at the end. Bong. And now we can stop. We can wake up.
Right. It's a very welcome sound.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you become enlightened anyway.
Yeah, thank you. And you.
Thanks.
Is that what you say, like? Hope you become enlightened.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It has to happen.
Yeah.
See that one there, that lumpy island over there?
Yeah, I thought we were going to be in that one, because that one over there used to be like Alcatraz. We're off to Holy Island, which is an island owned by the Buddhists. They bought Holy Island as a place of retreat where people could go on intensive meditation course and practice. I'm going there to continue my schooling in the arts of meditation.
Every human being has a potential. Potential means you could be good, you could be bad, you could be right, you could be wrong. But realizing your potential, then it comes responsibility. So we say, if we have the potential, we should do whatever we can to make the whole world much more better place.
Chucky is, well, she's not a nun, but she's a meditation expert, guidance counsellor for people who are doing these long-term retreats. She's done some quite heavy-duty retreats, and she helps people through the more dark, difficult patches, which I imagine you get when you spend 3 years staring at a stone.
You were given several kind of meditations to do?
Yeah, but Zhangmo said, basically, was it the Chinye?
Shine.
Shine is just, she said, just concentrate on that.
Yes, but within Shine there are different methods.
We did walking meditation, and we did inner visualization, which was a sort of flower, lotus flower. I missed the one where we had the stone. I had to go and do something, so I missed the one with the stone.
You could go after breakfast, look for a pebble or something, little stone. But the pebble should be round. It shouldn't be busy, you know. It should be a quiet kind of pebble, yeah, and smooth and harmonious kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not the beauty of it; it's more the texture and the fact that it's a focus point. You know, it's not too big. Then you could use that as your support for the session between 10 and 12.
Okay. I went for a walk with Rinchen, and she showed me some of the prophets painted on the rocks. Who's that then?
That's the Buddha.
Oh, I should have recognised him by now. Is this Tara?
This is Tara, you see.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she looks like a pretty foxy lady. She said, I seem to be particularly drawn to green Tara. And green Tara is a woman with big green breasts. We were both puzzled by my attraction to green Tara.
So she was a female bodhisattva, and she also vowed to be reincarnated always as a woman, and to come back in a woman's form.
Yeah, I like her.
I think those first kind of identification or connection, that, you know, it's quite often the ones that are the most meaningful. You feel some sort of connection with Tara.
There's an element of it which says, no, you really are getting something out of this, aren't you? Which puts me off, actually. It's saying, oh, I can definitely see there's a reason you're here, and there's a reason that you're finding this attractive. You really get on green Tara, you like green Tara. And yeah, she's got green knockers. But I did slowly realise that it was a great opportunity. Being here, I was quite lucky to spend some time meditating and being taught how to meditate, and you could instantly feel the benefits of doing it. Well, if I learn to meditate, or I give myself a bit more confidence meditating, I'll be very pleased.
So maybe we just do straight sitting meditation.
Is this eyes closed or open?
I find it quite good to sort of look down, and if it helps you can close your eyes, but you can try both and see which the thing is, if you close your eyes, sometimes you can get a bit sleepy. And you just let your mind relax and rest and be like a clear sky. And if the thoughts come up, which of course they will, you just sort of let them pass through like clouds. And then you just get that kind of nice spacious, clear sky sort of feeling.
Whatever has to happen, it will happen to you. The mind has no beginning and no end. Whatever has to happen, it will happen to you. Happen to you. Happen to you. No beginning and no end. The mind. You can never impose any person unless they want to accept teaching. No beginning and no end. The mind. No beginning and no end. No. The mind.
Yeah, no, that was very good.
Do you feel more kind of at ease with it now?
I'm getting more used to it as a thing to do. Yeah.
When it really
it's
slows
weird
down,
anymore.
you don't. Have you started to kind of connect with yourself a bit?
Yeah, well, I think it's a very interesting thing to do. Just sit down and spend a lot of time inside yourself. Say, for example, I nicked a lorry load of videos in this life. I get 4 years as a rabbit.
No, I can get 4 years as an estate agent.
Well, whatever. I get 4 years as something. Does karma take into account circumstances? You know, like where you go to court?
I'm mitigating circumstances.
Does karma take in mitigating circumstances? Like, say, for example, I'm a kid. I brought up in the shanty towns of Rio, and I shoot someone. Slightly different to being mad lared up here with a shotgun and someone treads on my feet and falls like blast. 7 till 8, breakfast, muesli, yum yum, and a nice theological debate about the repercussions of the karmic cycle. To stay here, you have to contribute to the community, do various jobs, and I'm not sandblasting the outside of the building because I haven't got a mask and there's only one ladder, so I'm going to go and work in the garden, do a bit of weeding. Yeah, well, I had a strange experience when I was meditating today. I definitely had an experience. I was sitting there for the first 15, 20 minutes, just concentrating on this. I had to look at a stone. And I got into it, and then I was concentrating on my breathing and all that, and then suddenly I just became aware, like she's sitting just sort of to my right-hand side. I became aware of how still I was, and she was, and the whole room was. It was a very strange sensation, and this sort of like flush
came right through me. I was aware of how still. It just became like I was sort of like a stone, you know, you sort of start to identify. Obviously, staring at a stone, you start to identify with the stone. And eventually, I sort of had this sort of little moment of realisation where I thought, now, the rock, I'm like the rock, I'm solid at the moment like the rock, but I can breathe, the rock can't breathe, right? And that seemed to me like, that seemed to be quite profound when I was meditating. You know, now out of it, you just go, well, yeah, of course rocks can't breathe. It's a piece of information, it's not profound, but it's the way you realise it. So then you go, so it makes me think you should give up smoking, because I'm very lucky to be able to breathe. Because I was kind of like, not worshipping the rock, but I'm staring at the rock. And I think to myself, you can breathe, rock can't breathe.
I think what he has is a great openness, and I think that's very important, because it means already he's willing to let go of those protective devices, you know. I mean, we all have some, and especially when you are working in the world, you need them to really kind of keep going. And that's why I think it's necessary to be in retreat sometimes, to let go of those, or to loosen up those protections.
It's a strange day, no colors or shapes, no sound in my head. I forget who I am when I'm with you.
Yeah, I liked the idea that I was supposed to go on this retreat and I was followed around by a camera crew and a nun. And after a while I thought I'd quite like to have some time on my own to actually enjoy some of these new meditation skills I've learned. So eventually I went off for a walk on my own. Just said, you know, get out of my hair, you know, follow me around.
What have you been doing, like in the morning?
This morning I meditated, I did 20 minutes and then I had a break.
Oh, that's good.
And then I did another 20.
Yeah.
And then I went for today I had a long walk to walk around the island.
I heard. It's a
But I
great
had a few moments where I stopped. I didn't meditate properly, but I just had to sort of sit down and take a bit of it clear out. Yeah, it's when I do it this way, they go on the ground.
Have you tried this balancing?
Yeah.
Does it help?
Oh no, I forgot to do that.
This way. It is like with the knees on the ground, then you are more settled, you're more stable.
So I'll just look at the stone then?
Yeah, let me just look at the stone. It's only the eyes that go down on the head.
Okay.
If it gets too tense and if it gets blurred or it starts jumping around or something, or it gets too big or too small or whatever, you just take your eyes off it and for a little while.
Yeah, no, it didn't really work. I think I couldn't do it because of that, because of you here.
Really?
Yeah, impossible. You can't. I don't think you can film it really. I couldn't. I was sort of like looking at. Did you not see me looking at you? Sort of as if to go.
Yes. As the day goes on, anyway, the mind gets tired. Yeah, it's more exhausted. So it either gets, it usually gets more agitated, I think. But when the mind is actually strong and still enough, then it can take a lot. In all traditions, you know, they say it's good to meditate, you know, or contemplate or pray around 3 in the morning, you know, before sunrise, anyway.
You're just trying to make him feel better, aren't you? Sorry. No, but it's just by the amount of time it took. By the time you stopped, I didn't have a chance. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, let's do it anyway, yeah?
Don't film this. By this point, I thought, well, I'm not really giving monkeys about the film. I actually wanted to meditate. The whole thing is based on the mind, which is very progressive. people don't spend enough time thinking about themselves and what's going on in their heads. And also, I mean, if you did keep it up, it would be a solution to a lot of your problems. I just think it'd be very difficult in a city. It's very easy here. I mean, it's sort of idyllic. A beautiful garden, wonderful sunsets, mountains, hills, wild horses. A bit like sort of kids' TV in the 70s, isn't it?
You know, I find that idea of living in the present, it's a nice idea, a wonderful idea, but then again, to live in the present, you kind of have to remove yourself from the current present to like a much nicer present.
It seems to me professes some kind of mental self-sufficiency, which I think is a very interesting idea, and I think it's something that obviously works. It's like when you do it, you start to understand what they're on about. You know, that idea that, I think it's very interesting, the idea that they're just thoughts. People can be plagued by thoughts, you know, but when you accept them, you know, you get depressed by a thing that you're going to do, or a thing that you have done, or a thing that you might do, or a thing that might happen. You really are wasting a lot of your time just getting depressed, or, you know, I'm in a really good mood and then I remember something that I might might be doing, or I might have to do, I might have done, and I get depressed. And I think, well, if you actually just think, well, it's just a thought, just because this, one of the ways she said it is imagine a lot of bubbles. It's quite easy, you just go bubble, and it's gone. If I've done something dreadful, then it's good that I'm aware of that. But, you know, just stupid, neurotic thoughts you have. You know, everyone has them all day long. It's like that bloke who's saying, I don't get angry in my car anymore. It's helped him. He's never going to become like a monk or a realised being, is he? But, you know, he doesn't shout at people in traffic, and he can get on with his life much easier. I think that's a good thing. I'm going to bring out a video of me weeding. It's called Now That's What I Call Weeding 6. Om mani pene hum, pene hum, mani pene hum, mani pene hum.
Look on the prayer stand, you can see there are images and prayers, mantras printed on them. So when the wind blows them, the good wishes, the prayers and the benefits go on the wind to all four corners of the world, in fact all parts of the universe. So the wind takes the good wishes and the good prayers.
They're quite lucky in a way, you know, they've got this sanctuary. They live the way that I think a lot of people would like it. I think a lot of people would like it. I mean, I could happily stay here another week or so. I couldn't recommend it highly enough.
So take the fast road and get going now, before you leave no trace. Time in this place was closer than my friends. Remember.
Witness the story of the world's first large-scale aid operation taking food to the starving people of Biafra. Jesus Christ Airlines flies next Saturday at 8. Next, in his day, he was simply the best. Rory Bremner is one of the stars paying tribute to Mike Yarwood, a hero of comedy.